Are we really live?
Yes.
Oh, hello. Okay, so we are running behind, and I don't even have my tea water yet. I am Tara, the author of the Dining on a Dime Cookbook. 20 years, self-published authors, almost all of those years, not quite. But we started self-published, got a publisher, and now we've been self-published again for the last 15 years, 10 years? 10 years. And we've sold hundreds of thousands, so somebody loves our book. You want to eat better, spend less, check out our Dining on a Dime Cookbook at livingonadime.com. Where's my phone? Right here.
Hello, friends. We're here.
So, yeah, let me grab my cuppa. I need my cuppa with my English tea.
What did you drop on here?
Real tea from England. It's soap. Real tea from England in my cup there.
Yeah?
It came straight from the Queen's Palace.
Nice. Did she give you her regards?
She did.
Nice.
She said to say hey. And you know what she said?
She said from one queen to another. Just
kidding. Get it together, people.
She did? Wow, so she's a fan too?
I think that's what she's telling her grandsons from what I'm seeing in all the tabloids.
What, you're watching the tabloids?
No, but it just flashes up here and there, you know, on Facebook and all that stuff.
I see.
Okay, so.
All right, let's see, where is everybody?
We are talking about 5 ways to save hundreds of dollars on groceries. Now, way number 1, this is a bonus tip, buy our Dining on a Dime cookbook. Every person who buys this book says, I have saved so much money using your tips that the first time at the grocery store, I saved 5 to 10 times the amount of the cost of the book. Seriously. We have people that say they save $200, $300, $400 the first time they go to the grocery store. So, Dining on a Dime cookbook right here.
Yay. Don't believe us.
Right.
Ask everyone in the comments.
Yeah, ask everybody in the comments. They'll tell you the truth. Okay. So, while we're doing this, is this recipe
Do you want to
in the
save
book?
questions for at the end, or give them to you as we go?
Okay, well, go ahead.
Well, I don't see any yet. I thought I saw somebody might have asked one.
Okay. Do we have do I have my stir fry recipe? Oh, yeah. Page 267. While I'm talking about ways to save money on groceries and ways to save money on how you can be saving money on food. Did I do good?
Yes.
Did that work? I'm going to be making the stir fry here in Dining on a Dime on page 267, right here. We're having stir fry today.
David Cooper from Kansas is on.
David Cooper.
Tip number 1, don't eat. Saves tons of money.
See, I've taught my brother everything he knows. See, I knew it. Okay, so let me get started on my stir fry while we are talking about ways to save money on groceries. 5 specific ways that I'm doing this time. Let me put my notes there so I don't forget. Okay, so first of all, normally for dinner, tip number 1, keep your meals simple. Normally what we do is this is our, what's the matter?
That's the number 1 thing.
Yeah.
Well, I would say.
This is our rice bucket. And you can see I need to get me a new rice bucket. Apparently my rice bucket has seen better days. But we will cook up a big batch of rice and we'll eat on it for 3 or 4 days. And you can see my rice bucket is almost empty. So we just keep this in the fridge and then remake it. Now, if you want to know how to make rice, it is on page, I should have looked it up. I apologize for the delay here. Rice is on page 197, Dining on a Dime, okay?
Woohoo!
197. Now here's another little tip. I've got my water boiling, putting some salt in the water. You can put a little bit of fat in the water if you want, like margarine, butter. I do just a little bit of avocado oil because I'm dairy free. here's another tip. In my canisters, I keep measuring cups in my canisters, okay? You can see this one I used for Micah's. Oops.
Important message from Bond Kellum.
Important message from Bond
He
Kellum.
says, "Sup, dudes."
No. The answer, my son, is no. I love you, but no.
But you cannot be
I'm
going
sorry.
to parties where
So-
you get drunk, dude.
Oh, he's not. He wants a cat.
Oh. Well, I want a cat too. I'm pretty sure the entire family, except for you guys, wants a cat.
Yes, they do. And
Yes.
no. Okay, so
And,
so I keep. So this one's a 1/4 cup. So I'm gonna put 8 in here because I have 4 cups of water. Oh no! Are you kidding me? Oh brother, David, can you go get me the rice, please?
downstairs?
I think there's some in here.
There's a whole bag downstairs. I
Yeah.
know that for sure.
A 1/4 cup left. So then I don't have to dirty a measuring cup with rice. Sorry.
Okay.
Is it there?
I
Okay,
found a
can you run
question.
down and get me one, please? And things that I use all the time, like rice and flour and sugar and pancake mix, I keep on canisters next to where I use them. So like we use the rice next to the stove. So I always just keep it sitting right there next to the stove, okay? Dave's gonna go get me, I have a big rice stash, so he's gonna go get me another rice. Yes.
So Katie says, "Finally catching you awesome folks live. Thank you very much. We appreciate that."
Aw.
Eileen wants to know what kind of tea. She had a very important question.
Oh, it's real England English breakfast.
Does
It's
it matter
real.
what kind of rice?
No.
Because this one's jasmine rice.
That's probably fine.
So I'm not sure
Okay, so
what the difference is. It's just rice, but
Dave is getting. Thank you, Dave. Oh my goodness.
it's a
Woo!
20-pound bag.
So
Oh,
I have for emergencies. I have rice and beans and several food items to store up for emergency. All this dusty stuff on here. It is diatomaceous earth, food grade diatomaceous earth, and it keeps the bugs from getting to the rice, in case you're wondering what that is. So, all right, so now we're gonna put another, all right, and we are closing the lid and turning it down. So that's my rice for my stir fry. All right, so now I'm gonna be cutting up my cabbage here. All right, so back to easy meals. What do I mean by easy meals? Mike's gonna put a list.
Whoa. I think that's
Feed
my
a
clue.
family of 4 for $150 for a full month without coupons, okay? I made up a menu on how to feed a family of 4 for $150.
She's just cutting cabbage. by the
1
way.
month. Yeah, I'm just cutting cabbage.
I'm sharing that link right now that she's talking about. And I think it's on the front page of our website, livingonadime.com.
Now, here's the thing. I went through and went to the grocery store and made a menu for $150 for the entire month. Now, how is this menu going to help you save hundreds on groceries? Because we're not eating complicated things. We eat easy things like stir fry and tacos and green chili. And we'll even have spaghetti or homemade pizza. All these things are super easy to make. Honey baked chicken, maple glazed chicken with some rice and some vegetables, that kind of thing. Now, keeping your meals easy does a couple of things. It gets you in and out of the kitchen quick, and it saves you money on your grocery bill. I don't like to spend more than 15 minutes or so in the kitchen cooking. I won't do it. I have chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia, and I can't physically do it, okay? So for me to sit in the kitchen, I look at some of these places like that HelloFresh or whatever, And they're like, dinner in 30 minutes or less. I don't even spend that long.
She spends like 5 minutes cooking up. Like, she'll just slap some chicken on there and then just leave it. And she'll come back and it's cooked. It's like, whoa.
So I don't spend a lot of time because I don't have the energy or the time to do it. So the energy's the biggest one, okay? All right, so let me get my cabbage in here. We're going to get started on the cabbage.
And Dave will actually start directing the camera.
All right. Then let me grab my shredder here.
Oh, Mary says hi from Dublin. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Mike has to put that in there.
You picked Mary out just because she's in Ireland.
I know. I have to say, I have a special fondness. Oh, Valerie says my book came in the mail today. Yay.
Yay. By the way, hello in Dublin. Okay, so now I'm just cutting up. These are some, what are these things called? By the way, has anybody seen the can opener? The can opener is gone.
I haven't looked yet, but
It's gone.
Last I saw it was way back here, but
It's gone.
it's gone.
So I have not been able to find our can opener. You should have seen me opening tuna. It was not pretty. Okay, so.
Or you just banging it open with your hands.
Yep.
Grab a rock or something.
Okay, so let's see. Easy meals. The other thing about easy meals is your family actually likes to eat them. I mean, who wants to eat stuff that has shiitake mushrooms in it? You know, and all these weird vegetables and stuff. Eggplant, all that kind of thing. I love fried eggplant, but my children do not. And so why, why make it complicated? So that's tip number 1. Make meals super easy, okay? Any questions before I go to tip number 2?
Well, NYC Homesteader is wondering how do you save money with food allergies, but you just have to select your food carefully with what you know you have, right?
And people make that way too complicated too. I can't do dairy. I can't do gluten. And first of all, stop eating so much food.
Ooh.
First of all. Secondly, just keep it simple. So gluten-free, dairy-free, I'll do stuff like stir fry. I'll do things like chicken and rice and a thing of vegetables. I'll do things like tacos, green chili, beef and broccoli, Chinese beef and broccoli. It's really not that hard. I'll eat things for breakfast like millet. Actually, it's bird food, but it's really tasty, good bird food. And so I'll just cook up a big thing of millet or gluten-free oatmeal. I'll use some flaxseed milk, is really cheap. You can make your own in the blender. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so we have, Katie said, Tara for president, get it together, people. But
Thank you.
Then she said, I made a fig cake using the carrot cake recipe y'all made, and it was a hit. She had tons of exclamation points, yeah. So that's really good.
That would be good.
Allison loves your hair.
Thank you.
Mary Beth says, I've used your cookbook for years and it's saved me so much money throughout the years. Yay!
Aw, thanks. Okay, so now I'm putting all my carrots in. I didn't have hardly any carrots in the fridge. So, let's go to the next point here. While I'm...
It smells delish.
putting in the carrots that I have. What's the next thing we do? Well, so like with today's meal, I would have liked to have a few more carrots, but...
Oh, what are you making?
Stir fry?
Yay! I didn't realize that's what you're making, but yay! Barbara, nothing is burning, but Tara's making stir fry and it's kind of making a lot of noise.
So, I would have liked to have had more carrots in here, but I didn't. But what I found was some peppers in my freezer that I need to get used up. So we're going to dump those in. I found a few snow peas that I had left. That some of them are looking like they've had better days, so I'm going to pick through. It's a few snow peas. It's not a ton. Oh, and I got water chestnut. Oh, but we don't have a can opener. Shoot. Oh, well. And then an onion. So, just because I didn't have carrots, I didn't go to the store and make an extra trip to go buy something just for this dinner. Now, tip number 2 for the summary. Don't go to the store every time you need something. So, if I'm going to cook something for dinner...
Oh, look, Superman is sending you lots of happy hearts.
Thanks, Superman. Is that Super Uncle Dave? What's the matter?
Oh, Danny was just asking if we set the timer for the rice. We usually don't set it.
No.
I set it just to remember to turn off the burner, but Tara turns it so low that it doesn't generally burn. Did you find the can opener?
No, I never found the can opener. So, okay, so I have all the stir fry thrown in there. So, don't make a special trip to the store when you need something. When we're out of milk, we don't go to the store for milk. We wait until the next time somebody's in town or somebody's at the store to get milk. I don't just go and stop and make a special trip to get milk, okay? All right, now, this is my frozen chicken from one of those roast chickens. And I'm going to dump this in my stir fry as soon as I'm done.
Clara just made a cheesecake.
Oh, yum. Actually, cheesecake is going to be in our next book that I'm working on writing right now. Mom sent me a cheesecake recipe. I was looking for a cheesecake recipe and then she sent one. So don't go to the store every time you need something. Just wait and try it later. Okay, so to celebrate us paying off our house,
Yes.
I decided to go big. And I saw Out of Goshen tried this and it looked yum. I saw it at the store.
Can you eat it?
Yes. So do you think spending $3 is too big of a splurge to celebrate paying off our house?
Oh, sorry, $3?
Is $3 too big of a splurge to
No.
pay off our house?
No, not at all.
What about a hot tub?
Hot tub? I'd be happy to have a hot tub. We need a hot
See?
tub and a
See?
smoker, where we can reach out and reload the smoker while we're in the hot tub.
Did you see how I moved that in there? But actually, taste this. I see why everybody likes it.
It's because
Taste
you
it.
knew I was distracted. Oh,
Here,
sorry.
stick your finger in there.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
good, isn't it?
Actually, that tastes like something they have at the restaurant.
So this is our
really
splurge
good.
for paying off the house.
Yum.
Uh,
Well, man, we're cheap dates.
Okay, so number 1, in case you're just joining us, is make easy meals. Mike put a link for how to feed a family of 4 for $150 if you guys want to go see how we did that.
I'm going to add that again.
Number 2, don't go to the store when you need something. Use what you have in the house. Number 3, limit the portions that you serve, okay?
Janelle! Yay!
Hello, oh, is that our bouncer, Janelle? Janelle. Janelle, everybody welcome Janelle. She is our email bouncer. She goes through all our emails before it comes to us. So if you're being a dork, I don't see it.
We
Thank
appreciate
you, Janelle. I was
Janelle.
going to say, we appreciate Janelle and Heidi, both our wonderful bouncers. We love them.
So, Jules P. is asking, what was the splurge?
The splurge, sweet chili sauce from Panda Express. I'm sorry, I didn't show it, did I? Sorry about that.
What is that you splurged on? Well, I splurged on flowers last week.
Oh, they were beautiful.
But they lasted less than 48 hours. And
Do you have your phone on you? Can you show the picture? Oh,
where's my
that's
phone?
all right. They
Well, I
were
think the
so
pictures-
pretty.
I don't think I got a picture except when it was already dead.
Oh. So he bought me the most gorgeous flowers he's ever bought me. Was it Friday, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, the ones I
They-
have where it's already...
let's see.
You can still see the
Oh.
colors.
Well, show him that one. Okay, here. Here's the other one.
Well, they're kind of dead now, but... Oh, turn
Okay.
it sideways and they can see it better.
Okay. Aren't those pretty?
Yep.
But they died.
But
Are these the ones that
the
just...
24 hours they started dying. We were
Like-
like, what?
Like, seriously dying.
so
So I took them back.
we took them back.
They have
Yeah.
a policy at our store that you could take them back if they don't last very long, so I did.
Dave, I think I have some garlic in the fridge. Can you, a jar of garlic? Just a short,
Yum.
squatty jar.
So Della Tar's talking about saving on groceries, but while she's doing it, she's making
I'm cooking dinner.
stir fry.
It's a short, squatty one, like this big, I think,
Is it in
Dave.
the drawer?
I should
don't know
see-
where it
is
is.
this a stir fry that we made before on the show?
Yes.
So I can go find the recipe real quick here.
Okay, so number 3, limit your portions. Now, I about flipped my lid and I couldn't keep my mouth shut.
No.
So I may have a whole bunch of haters coming over from another YouTuber's channel.
I wouldn't.
But-
I wouldn't name the other YouTuber.
Yeah. I forgot the garlic, guys.
I forgot who asked what we're cooking, but I'm going to share the recipe for the stir fry that we're cooking.
So while we were looking up keywords on ways to save money on groceries and saving money on food, did you see how I did that? I did that.
Yes, I did see how you did that.
SEO for...
I came across this other YouTuber who was talking about this, and there was a comment that said,
Sorry.
I have 3 teen boys, and a gallon of milk lasts 18 hours in my house.
Holy... We have 4 kids in our house. and
Isn't
we
there a
got
verse
one
about that?
last-
When I was young, when I was a child, I needed milk. I need real food.
Okay, I couldn't keep my mouth shut, and I had to comment. But are you kidding me? Who is the parent in your house in this situation? There is no way I would allow my 3 teenage boys to drink a gallon of milk in less than a day. You got to be kidding me. That is just a parent not parenting. Kids need milk. I know teenage boys eat a lot. I've already gone through 2 and I'm getting ready for my next one. They still do not need a gallon of milk between 3 of them. That is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. That would be like 5 cups of milk a day per person, right? I think I'm doing my math right. That's ridiculous. So limit the portions. When I cook a chicken, a whole roast chicken, it will get us 3 or 4 meals. This here is about 2.5 ounces per person right here. You don't need a full amount. You get protein the rest of the day. You don't have to have the full 4 ounces of protein for every single meal.
So Jacqueline said my boys would be buying the next gallon.
Exactly.
Actually, with our teenagers, if they want something that we don't get them, they have jobs, so they can go get it themselves.
Yeah. And our older kids, they buy their own food. If they don't want to eat the family food, then they buy their own food and will eat their extra special food. Although they're both saving up for particular, BJ's saving for a house and Ellie's saving to travel. So they're eating a lot of the family food because they realize how much food is.
What's funny is when they've been buying other things that they want, like a lot of eating out stuff, all with their money, they suddenly realize that costs a lot. Like, yes, it does. That's why we don't buy it all the time. Amy said, I got my cookbook. She said last week she was waiting on it. I spent $100 a week $100 a week after reading it. It spent $36 this week after reading it.
Wow.
before, $36.
So she saved, let's see, 6 times 4 is, she saved $240 this month, which is 10 times the cost of the book. She saved 10 times the cost of dining on a dime. Guys, I'm telling you, unless you are just, there are a few people, like my mom, who are just the absolute frugalist people in the whole wide world. I get that. The other 99.9% of the population will save money if they use our book. So,
Yeah, Donna-
living on a dime, go to the store.
Donna says I would complain the flowers should last longer than that. I did. I just took them right back. Once before I didn't take them back when I should have, but I know everybody at the store and I was like, yeah, these only lasted 2 days.
Oh, and they were so pretty though.
They were really pretty. They just,
Yeah.
They just died.
they just flashed beautiful for a second and then they were gone.
Yep, then they were gone.
Don't blink when you buy flowers.
Don't blink when you buy flowers. Okay, so that's
They might vanish.
that's tip number 3. So number 1, to recap for those of you who are just joining us, don't go to the store when you need something every time. Cook easy meals. Your family will love easy meals. 3, limit the portion. There is absolutely no reason a family of 6 or less needs to go through more than a gallon of milk a week unless you just, love drinking milk. But really, my family of 6 uses a gallon every week. You don't need that much calcium. You've got cheese, you've got yogurt, you've got all kinds of other ways that you can get your calcium. Okay, number 4. And in case you guys are wondering, this is my soap that I made on Saturday, and it did not turn out quite like I liked. It's pretty.
It smells delish.
Raspberry lilac. Didn't quite turn out like I thought it would. Raspberry lilac.
So-
Homemade soapmaking supplies.com. 40% off. $30 minimum. I still have some stuff left. I am getting down, but I still have some stuff left.
Just $30 minimum, right? Is that what you
$30
said?
minimum. 40% off. So if you spend $30 before the coupon, it's like $18 after the coupon, something like that. Okay.
So David Cooper said, what happened to the rice?
Nothing. It's done. It's done because your sister is a good cook. Uh-huh.
Ooh.
Yeah, your sister is a good cook.
Was he expecting that you burned it or something?
He thinks that I burned it, but I don't burn food. I just make it extra well done.
Whoa.
Okay, number 4. Stop buying a bunch of junk.
Ooh.
Oh, Dave. Dave
Ooh.
got that one.
Wait, junk food or junk? Whoa.
Junk food.
Just anything.
But you could save on your whole budget by not buying junk.
That's true. You can. Okay, so Mike's going to put up a link. Stop cutting coupons and start saving.
Yes.
So, here's the thing. When you guys are buying potato chips and Pop-Tarts and granola bars and the little fruit snacks that are just basically, yeah, Dave's hiding his junk food back there.
Hey, it's Easter candy, so I haven't.
Easter candy doesn't count.
Nope.
It is saving money on food when you don't buy that stuff because there's no nutritional value in it. It doesn't fill you up. It doesn't. Well, that one's kind of weird.
In fact, it makes it harder to lose weight if you have that.
Yeah,
struggle with
very
that.
good, Dave. Makes it harder to lose weight. But really, guys, it's just junk. I had a lady send me, ask if I would consult with her on her grocery bill, and I'm actually going to do a full show on it. She sent me screenshots of her order that she got from Walmart.
Yay.
And I said, she sent me 2 weeks worth, and I said, well, send me the next 2 weeks worth, and I will do a show on it. And she's like, oh dear, I'm afraid. Don't be afraid. But I noticed on there, she was buying several things that really weren't needed, and she could have just off the top of my head, just scanning it, I could have saved her about $60. Just scanning that one grocery bill, and she thought that she had it down as far as she could go.
You're still answering. You're still talking about the points
Yes.
on this story, right?
Did you?
I have some questions, but they're not directly aligned with what you're.
Okay, so let me go get my 5 points, and then we'll go to questions. Okay. So just stop buying junk food, guys. I mean, I buy my kids chips. I buy my kids whales. We don't usually get goldfish unless they're on sale. We don't buy the little fruit snacks. We don't buy, oh my goodness, don't get me started. If these things were available when my kids were little, I would not have bought them. We do not buy the little pouches of applesauce and all that. That
those are
is
so stupid.
crazy expensive. There's no reason for it. And, yeah, there's no reason for it. Okay, number 5. Okay, so which one do I do for number 5? Do I use number 1 or number 2?
I'm not getting involved.
Oh my goodness, Mom! No.
Okay, so number 5, I have 2 options. I have the, I'm going to tick everybody off option, or I have the, okay, everybody will just listen to me option. Which one should I have everybody vote?
No, just take everyone.
Just tick everybody.
Just do it.
I remember one time when we did a whole
Hey.
show on that, and it just caused you got some serious flame.
Hey, it'll separate our true fans from our
Yes,
fakers.
Okay, so the tick everyone off option is stop buying organic foods.
What?
I said it.
A true test of who's
Oh
our
dear,
actual
I
fan.
said it. Okay, so we did a whole video on this, but yeah, stop wasting money on organic foods. It's not really worth it. I know, we did a whole show on it, but you know, what got me thinking about that was this weekend we were talking to some friends, and
Someone said trigger us.
Trigger
Really
us.
mad said trigger us.
And here's the thing, I was talking to some people, and one of the people had gone over to Europe last week, and she has a gluten intolerance, and she said, yeah, she said, I was actually able to eat the bread over there without getting sick. And I said, people say that all the time. That's really interesting.
Right?
And, second, let me stir.
Yay, Nancy. Nancy said I took a 7-mile bike ride today.
Wow.
Holy smokes!
Dave and I are pumping up the hiking.
Okay, so as we were talking, one person said, well, I think it's because we have so many GMOs here, and they used all the Roundup on all the wheat and everything, and so that's why. And I was like, I don't think that's right. I didn't say anything because I couldn't remember for sure. But I went and looked it up that evening. Here's the thing, guys. Stop believing things that aren't true.
Propaganda.
It is propaganda. That's all it is propaganda. First of all, there is no GMO wheat in the United States that is grown for commercial use. Okay? So first of all, if you're buying flour and wheat flour, it's all non-GMO because they don't grow GMO wheat in the United States. Secondly, they don't spray wheat with Roundup because if they do, it will not ripen the stalk fast enough. So it's not true that they use Roundup on wheat either. Now, I never did find anyone who could figure out why European wheat does not have triggers in it that the American wheat has. The only thing that I could find is just the strain of wheat is different. That's the only thing I could find in my research. But the thing is, if you're saving money and if you're wanting to save money and you don't have the money, if you have, let me just say, if you have credit card debt or car payments or student loans, you shouldn't be doing any of it. All that money should be going to pay all that off. Yes. Can you make it through? So anyway, so first of all, get your facts straight and make sure that if you're doing it for the right reasons. Once again, we delete all argumentative comments. So if you're going to argue about it, my wonderful bouncer Heidi's just going to delete it. So don't waste your breath. Option number 2 for our 5th way to save money is use what you have. Now, this is similar to don't go to the store when you have something you need or when you need something. But guys, just use up the food you have in your house first. And I am one of the worst. Our freezer in the kitchen, we'll just throw stuff in there and it gets lost and it falls to the back. And it gets into the big freezer pit of despair. And then I have to go in and dig and find. So I try to make it like every now and then I'll go through a freezer cooking where, like with my chicken, I'll say, I don't know what's in my freezer, but whatever's in there, I'm cooking something to go with it so that we can get the freezer cleared out and some space cleared out again and get the food that we already have used up. So use the food that you have. And don't go buy more food until you have the food that you have on hand used up. The 5 tips: make easy meals. 2, don't go to the store when you just need a thing of milk or eggs or whatever. 3, limit your portion size. You do not need to go through a gallon of milk a day. That's absolutely ridiculous unless you have 15, 20 people in your family. Stop buying a bunch of junk food is number 4. And number 5 is use what you have on hand already. Okay?
Wow, Jacqueline says, I have lost 20 pounds by following these principles. I did it without feeling deprived.
Wow.
Yay.
Oh my goodness. That's pretty cool. Okay. Okay, so now on to the question. Okay, so I'm going to dump in my chicken now. It's still frozen, but it'll cook.
Debbie loves your soaps.
Thanks.
I'm not sure if you agree with this or if this is kind of a controversial point, but
Probably controversial.
Minnie C. Riley, wealthy, says, everything you buy should be gone in a month unless it's spices. What are your opinions on that?
What are my opinions on that?
There's popcorn and popcorn kernels and then rice.
Some things keep longer, but I mean, if you're talking like produce and stuff, then
yeah.
Well, that'd be less.
Yeah, I don't totally agree with that because, like, I'll stock up on chicken. Chicken goes on sale about every 3 months here, 8 to 12 weeks. So I'll stock up with 3 to 5 months worth of chicken and throw it in my freezer. So in that situation, no. I don't think that you should use it up within a month. I mean, it's an okay theory, but if you're trying to save money in the long haul, if you have a family, it's easier to stock up on things and use them later.
Minnie was buying bulk gummy bears in the bulk at the store. Yeah, actually, Dave likes to occasionally stop at what is it?
Sprouts. Lucky's, yeah.
And they have, it's funny is in the bulk you can get the gummy bears are $2.99 a pound and Dave will get himself some. But you can go get a little container that's right next to the bulk that they packed it for you and it's $1 extra per pound.
Like, it's because you're paying for it.
Wow, you pay a lot of extra not to... Love when you tick us off.
Well, yeah, okay. I won't go into that anymore.
The thing about the organic is there's nothing wrong with having organic. It's just that it's primarily a marketing issue for the stores.
Organic propaganda.
Yeah.
Like Dave and I, we'll go get bananas at the store, and sometimes we'll get regular, and sometimes we'll get organic, and we decide based on if we want to eat them right now. And one is super green, and one's closer to ripe. We get the ripe one, whichever it is.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't get the whole, what do you call it? The free roam products. Like, I don't get why they have free roam chicken and...
Yeah, I know.
Please do a show on stocking up, please.
Actually, Heidi and I were talking about that today. We are planning on doing a show on how Heidi and I stock up on stuff. Because like the video I did 2 weeks ago or 10 days, I don't know, whenever I did it, 10 days ago or whatever, people were like, well, there's no way you spent $300 on groceries this month. Yeah, I did. The month's almost over, and that is exactly what I spent. And that includes a $10 Papa Murphy's pizza every Friday, because I have been so dead tired doing this soap stuff, I can hardly stand up, that once a week I've been giving myself a break, and they have $10 pizza specials, and I'll let the boys and Mike, the boys, grab that on the way home. So...
So Maureen, so GMO is not an issue. So here's the thing. A lot of things that when people hear GMO on the news and stuff, they think everything is GMO unless it says non-GMO. But only certain food products, only certain food groups are actually have any GMO being produced in our food chain.
Corn and soybeans are the two big ones, but yeah.
So in that sense, no, it's definitely not an issue. There's difference of opinion with people on whether it's an issue in the things that it is in, like corn and soybeans. My personal opinion is I don't really think it's a big problem, and the main reason why is a lot of the genetic modifications are not. It's not like putting a chemical in there. Like I hear people talk about putting chemicals in food to make them bug resistant, but actually on the one thing that I researched, so I'm not saying I'm an expert at this, but on the one thing that I researched, the genetic modification created microscopic little pokey things that because of their shape and size, they kill the bugs by basically puncturing them. But it's such a small thing that it's irrelevant to us because we're much larger than the bugs. So in my opinion, stuff like that isn't really a big deal.
Well, and the thing
but I'm not an expert on all things GMO.
I did do a school thing on this.
But yeah.
In school, they did talk about how they don't put insecticides straight into GMO products. And if it is something to kill bugs, it's not harmful to humans at all.
Well,
so a lot of people think that, oh no, they put insecticide poison in there, so if I eat this, I'm going to die.
Yeah,
that's not the case.
So what Dave is saying, the thing is, if you're concerned about it, you can kind of look and see. I tend to like to see what both sides say because, particularly on YouTube and Facebook, there are a lot of people that say a lot of things. But if you follow the chain of information back, you find that it originated with the Facebook posts and not with the scientists.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Della, how can you save money when you are not stocked up and it's just you on one income? It's the same principles. You just buy your meats and your as much food as you can on sale. Here's one thing, guys, that I don't think... Okay.
Is this the kinder, gentler Tara?
This is the kinder, gentler Tara.
You have to say, There you go.
No, it's not that. It's when you go. Okay, no, it is turned off, isn't it? Yeah.
The certified one is it?
No, I want it on.
Okay.
Okay, I'm trying to think of how to say this. Actually, it's not really. I'm not trying to be kinder and gentler. I just am trying to think of how to phrase this. When you buy a thing of oatmeal, so let's say. Oh, oops, we don't have our big one. Okay, well, let's just say oil here. Okay. When I go to the store and I buy my oil, or I go to the store and I buy my oatmeal, usually we get the big one because it's cheaper for us as a big family, but...
Except this time the smaller one was cheaper.
Yes. I had Mike pick it up for me, and he found out the smaller one was cheaper.
So I bought a couple of them.
So here's the thing. This has 13 servings in it. So when I go to the grocery store and buy this is not just for one meal. This is not just for one meal. So you divide it up over all your meals. So if you're single and you go and buy this is what? 96 servings. This will last you 4 or 5 months probably. If not longer. This, if you ate it every single day, this would last you 2 weeks. if you ate oatmeal for breakfast every single morning. So stop thinking about it in the way of, I'm going to the grocery store and I'm spending $25 and that's how much I'm spending this week. You're spending it this week, but most of the time you're spending it for next week also. Does that make sense? I'm going to do a video on this because...
The IRS calls that, I forgot what they call it. Depreciation. You only count the part that you're actually using as the cost of this meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why when I say I spent $200 on groceries this month, and then for the rest of the month, we got $40 in pizzas, 1 pizza a week. Well, it's actually 8 pizzas because it's two for $10. And then we spent about $50 on things like I got extra cuties, we got extra bananas. What else did we buy? I was trying to think of what else we bought. A lettuce. I needed some lettuce.
Pineapple.
So you're spreading it out over time. So even though I spent $200 this month on my big grocery haul, like the fruit that I bought with it, the canned fruit, that's going to last us 2 or 3 months. The frozen veggies that I bought with that, that'll last us probably 2 months. So yeah, I don't feel like I explained that very well. But anyway, let me eat a carrot while I think about it and you give me the next question.
So I'm not an expert in Roundup, but I'm going to say one thing, and it's the only thing we're going to say, and then after that we're not going to say anymore. But you can win a court case in civil court on any premise, regardless of whether it's true or not. So it's possible that maybe if you talk to the right scientist, you might find that there's a problem. But it's not evidence of a problem when a court rules a certain way, because that means that 12 people were persuaded. It's not, you don't have to be beyond a reasonable doubt in civil court. In criminal court, you do. And so you just have to think, well, it's maybe more likely to be this way. And so a court case is not necessarily evidence.
A court case does not mean that it's actually true.
I'm not saying I'm an expert. I'm not an expert, but I'm just saying I wouldn't take, because there's been a court case, I wouldn't take that as evidence.
And we actually talked to last year at a SOAP conference, we talked to a scientist who's at a university, a large university, who would not go on camera, but he's a chemical scientist. I'm not. That's all you said you were going to say. He was a chemical scientist. Chemistry was his science, okay? And he said, you know what? He said, people are making themselves more sick from the stress of worrying about this stuff than just washing it well, because it's water soluble. Pesticides are water soluble. They wash off. Than just washing your fruits and vegetables, eating them, and moving on. He said, people need to just stop getting the Big Macs and stop getting the 65 ounce, 64 ounce, whatever ounce big gulps, and stop worrying about it. The stress of worrying about it is causing more problems than just eating the stuff and not worrying about it and moving on. And he said, and this guy, I thought for sure, I thought for sure he was going to give us this big lecture about how all these pesticides are horrible and everything, because he seemed to be that type of a person. And he said, nope. He said, I'll eat it any day. So that's what we're saying about that. If you want to believe that, I have no beef with you. You can believe that. That's fine. I'm just saying everything I've seen, organic food is a huge waste of money.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, I would just say, having been 20 years in television and realizing that news has never been really true, and Facebook is a lot less true, I would, if you're concerned about something, rather than just listening and believing it and repeating it, I would do a lot of your own research and look at what did the other people say too.
It's a marketing point.
Because when I was in television, it was amazing the things that people could say in television that, and people would just believe it because they appear to be an authority. Same thing when I worked at a university. There were things that I called professors on because I was supervising projects that they were involved in, and they would say, well, yeah, but that's kind of the point I'm trying to make, so let's just leave that. I'm like, but it's not true. So if you're really, really concerned about something like that, do the checking yourself and don't just because it doesn't take anything to go on YouTube and say make statements about something, or to say it on Facebook or whatever. So I would be cautious. I mean, it's fine if you have the money and you want to spend extra money in these areas, but if you're concerned and you don't really want to spend the money, I would do some research yourself.
Tanya says she is on a special diet and her mom took our book and spent $130 for a family of 6.
Woo! Yes!
Woo! Good job. Good job.
So your brother is hassling you like crazy. He was when you were being quiet. He said, "Everybody clear out. She's being quiet. Back away." Yeah. Then he said I bought 60 cases of Dr. Pepper in preparation for next week. What is next week, Uncle Dave?
Is it your movie thing?
Oh, is that what it's for? For Endgame?
Well, no. Well, I don't know.
That's Friday.
I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know.
So there were some questions.
Okay.
Let's see. Do you ever suck up on things from the dollar store, or do you think it's not truly a value?
No. Dollar store is not truly a value. Sorry. End of story. I actually did a whole video on that. Dollar store versus Walmart. Certain things you will save money. Party supplies is one of them. A lot of things you won't. Cleaners and toothpaste, body washes, all that kind of stuff. It is not necessarily cheaper. The one thing I did find that it was cheaper was cards and party supplies. I don't go there really for anything else. I don't go for anything else. So, okay.
Yes, mini Endgame is actually.
Okay, so let's see. Amanda, today went to the grocery store on my lunch break to look for some cheap meat for tonight. They had smart chicken, $4.79 per pound for thighs. So I looked; they were marked down to 99 cents a pound. Usually would not buy smart chicken, but I stocked up to grab the 4 packages and got 16 pounds of chicken thighs for a little over $16.
Woo!
Woohoo!
Good job, Amanda.
One thing I've discovered is if you keep your eyes open when you're walking around the store, you might be surprised at what you can find like that.
Yeah. Well, and we got an email, and I think I'm going to do a whole video on this. But guys, know your prices. I got an email yesterday from a lady that said, I live in Australia and there is absolutely no way we would find chicken for 77 cents a pound. And I'm like, okay. She said the cheapest we would find it is for $3 a kilo for a whole chicken and $6 a kilo for boneless, skinless chicken breasts. And I was like, wait a minute. Okay, I'm not good on the metric system here, but if I remember the small amount of metric that I had in school, a kilo is more than a pound. So I went in and I looked, a kilo is 2.2 pounds. I'm like, well, wait a minute. You're comparing pounds to kilos. It's not the same, it's double. So then I go in and I do the exchange rate, and it's like 140 Aussie dollars to $1 American dollars. Guess how much she's paying for chicken?
How much?
$1 a pound for whole chickens and $1.97 for boneless, skinless chicken breasts. Guess what I pay for chicken? $1 for a whole pound, or for a whole chicken, and $1.99 for boneless, skinless.
Ooh.
So, guys.
So part of the confusion with other countries is because the dollars are different, and what else was different?
The measurements.
And the measurements are different.
You have to do conversion.
We have to actually convert everything to get a real comparison.
Yeah.
So
don't.
Because to say it's $5 in America or
$5
in Canada or Australia or something, $5 isn't the same in both of those places. In all those places.
So it is the same price.
But like what you were saying, also kilos and pounds are not the same either. So It's kind of like it's also like the gas in gallons and in liters.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not going to say I know gas is more expensive. So, okay, so let's see. We had a couple questions. Somebody asked, oh, Nancy, I may have missed it, but is there meat in your stir fry?
Yes. Chicken.
But if you didn't want meat, you could make it without it.
Yeah.
We just like it. So, let's see what else we have. We had a bunch of quick things. Susan, what are y'all going to do with your extra money?
Buy a hot tub. Buy a car.
Oh, and somebody else asked. Who else was it that asked? Somebody else asked if we're going to still be frugal after paying off the house.
Okay.
Oh, are you something like? Are you still gonna live? Are you gonna lighten up on your frugality or stay the same?
No.
We're not. So here's the thing. We're not. When we were desperately short of money, and we had to make decisions like, do we fix the car or not? We were more frugal than we are now. But as we've been able to, we've kind of loosened that a little bit. So, which is to say that we've loosened it to the point where if the car needs tires and they're in really bad shape, we just go do it. We talked about it last week. We did that with our super cheap car that we're still hanging on to.
Our $500 car,
We didn't change the tires previously because we thought with the car we were going to have it go away. But we decided to keep it a little bit longer. And so I realized that a tire was about to have a problem. And so I took it in and just got another tire right then. Well, actually, I got a couple tires. And in that sense, we have loosened that up. But in terms of buying a lot of things that we pretty much have gotten to where we don't miss those things that we don't buy. We've realized we never really cared that much about them. Mm-hmm. And so in that sense, we don't intend to go back. But there are some things we do plan to do, like probably we'll do a little bit of traveling in the next year or two. I mean, we're not going to be like world traveling all the time, but because we'll save a lot of that for other purposes for the future. But for a little bit, we'll probably do a little traveling. Tara saying hot tub, that would be awesome, although I don't want to have to take care of one. It's like buying a boat.
I really want a hot tub because it helps my fibromyalgia, but I don't want to have to take care of one. Hold on, real quick before, guys, just so I don't forget, homemadesoapmakingsupplies.com. This is the big lavender mint bar that I don't have a picture of. Here's the gun soap. I have some of those left. It's 40% off, $30 or more. I'm getting down next week. I'm closing the store. So I'm getting down to the last of what I have. I started shipping the soaps from the first of the month. I got the labels printed today, and tomorrow I'm going to pack them up. Those soaps are being shipped if you ordered at the first of the month. So this is really good. Taste this. Your wife is a good cook. Let's just say once again, who has the book best cook in the whole wide world?
Yum. That is super. I love the stir fry.
Yeah, Suzanne, people just like to play the victim card and complain about food costs. They do. We have proven it over and over again. And like today, I got a comment. A lady said, well, I live in no man's land, Alaska, 300 miles from Anchorage. It's a 6-hour drive, blah, blah, blah. You choose to live there.
We used to live 70 miles from any civilization in Idaho.
I chose to live there, and I still drove 140 miles both ways to go get groceries.
You mean round trip was 100, so 70 miles each way. But the thing is that it really wasn't hard to do.
But it was our choice.
And we didn't, like, what we've noticed here in Colorado, a lot of people I need some salt. So they just jump in the car right now and drive down to the store and just get the salt. And then they come back and they're like, oh, and I need milk also. So then they get in the car and they go back. Well, we just had to say when we lived in Idaho, hey, 70 miles to the grocery store, we're going to go once a month. Mm-hmm. And other than that, we would improvise. And that's a lot of where the substitutions in the book came from, because we could improvise without having to go 70 miles to the store. And then there's a point where I ended up working beyond that town. And so a lot of times then, if we forgot something, I would pick it up coming home from work.
Jamie
day that I came home.
Jamie says if it's between a hot tub and another sauna thing, maybe I should go for the hot tub so it doesn't start on fire. I still have a scar from that.
Yeah, but it needs to make sure it doesn't boil while
Yeah, I'll be like the frog boiling. Carrie Lynn, what about what about brown rice versus white rice and the health difference? Stop eating so much food. Really, this is our mantra for 2019. Just stop eating so much food. We are just as guilty. We get it. But here's the thing. I think eating brown rice is like eating dirt. I will eat a half a cup of white rice before I'll eat a full cup of brown rice any day because I just hate the taste. So that's my 2 cents.
Well, and brown rice does have more fiber and more of the other stuff still in it.
Take magnesium.
So what I've found for myself is my system doesn't tolerate the brown rice very well because of the fiber that's still in it. Mm-hmm. So I would say if you like it, eat it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No harm in that. But on the white, I don't feel bad about the white rice. I just don't eat that much of it because it's basically it's probably not a whole lot better than potato chips or something, is it?
Well, and okay, so 70 miles is a lot one way or not. It is. But that was our choice to live in no man's land, Idaho. So we knew we would not have easy access to a grocery store, so we had to compensate for that. And so people email me all the time, well, I live in Hawaii, or I live... Well,
in those days, we made like $6 to $10 an hour, and we'd save like $200 driving 70 miles to the grocery store. It took us an hour each way. So we thought we have all this extra time, but we don't have the extra money. And so financially it worked out better. And really it was kind of nice driving that once a month anyway.
Yeah.
Because we drove through a pretty area.
Yeah. So North to Hope says people will complain about the dust from the dirt roads. Well, they bought the house and it had dirt roads I know. We've lived on dirt roads. And we've had family members complain about our dirt road, and we were like, we like this house. We're okay putting up with the dirt roads. We know our car is never going to be clean. So
Montana Grandma, I've been watching on my smart TV, but got the laptop out so I could say congratulations on paying off your house. We're about 2 years or less on ours, and it's so exciting. Very happy for you. Yay!
Thank you!
The funny thing is, we're happy, and I think maybe the more we talk about it, the more it'll sink in. It's not
registered yet.
But it hasn't really sunk in because it's we've never not had to pay for the house in some way. So we're thinking maybe the next time payroll comes around and we think, wait, we don't have to send that to the mortgage company.
We're going to be doing a show on that probably either Wednesday or next week, maybe next Monday. Because one comment we keep getting over and over is, oh no, now you're going to have to pay the taxes. We're like, we've already been paying the taxes.
If you're paying, the taxes are already part of what you pay.
So,
unfortunately,
we're doing a show on that.
There's almost nowhere in the world you can not pay taxes.
Yeah.
I mean, legally.
Yeah.
So we just figured that's something we have to deal with. So, but we're happy that that's all it is. There were some other things. Let's see. Well, we'll go through quick and see if I missed anything. And I was also gonna say, Dave and I are trying hiking more.
Yeet.
So, Dave and Jack and I went on a nice hike on Saturday.
You're gonna be ripped at the end of the year.
Yeah.
My legs are gonna be ripped.
And we're trying to see if we can amp up the working out a little bit by doing it that way.
Yes, we do ship to Canada. We do.
Donna, now that your house is paid off, do you plan on looking for a new place to live again? So
yes, I am looking, but
we don't want another mortgage. So.
But here's the thing. If we found a place here where Mom could build a house for her, or it already has 2 houses or something, we would probably get like $100,000 mortgage if we could get a house that would be more conducive for our business and for us. We did look today.
In Colorado, the houses are very expensive, so
Yeah.
so that would be almost nothing compared to what we've had to pay.
Yeah.
So
So yes, I am still looking, but we have very specific needs. One being, I don't want no neighbors. I don't want an HOA.
I don't want to be next to human
Tell us how you really feel.
We would really like to do something like an Airbnb thing where our viewers could come stay with us with a couple of tiny houses or something. And so if we do that, we would need it to be on 2 specific corridors, either the Loveland or the Longmont highways going up to Estes Park.
We actually saw something today in the town
I was like...
In the town where Tara lived when I met her, which is higher up in the mountains from Estes Park, Colorado.
In Allen's Park.
It had a direct shot view of the tallest mountains in our part of the state.
It was beautiful.
It was really beautiful. But the house was 120 feet from the highway. Which
it was all off-grid, no electricity, no plumbing.
It had no electricity?
I don't think so.
Because it had no plumbing, no bathroom, but it had a sink.
Oh yeah, it said it had water from the Meeker Lodge, didn't it?
And it had electric baseboard heat, so it had to have electricity.
Oh, but I thought it didn't have electricity because it said no electric. Huh, that's weird.
I think what happened is it was an old place, so they had an outhouse, and then they had plumbing only for that. I think that's because you need a vault in that area.
But it was off-grid, and I was like, oh, I have always wanted to live off-grid. When I was a teenager, before off-grid was a thing, I was like, I am buying a cabin in the mountains with no electricity, no nothing, and I'm going to live by myself to be a hermit. How did I end up doing this? So...
We just thought that one would be... we just thought that one would be nice as we can go up to the mountains and get away, but we could Airbnb it, and that would probably pay for it. And the cost was pretty low because it wasn't much of a house.
Yeah.
But there are other things that we were thinking in that area.
So we are looking. We're still looking. We are probably going to stay in Colorado. Our older kids want to stay here. We probably want to be by them. I don't know. We'll see.
How many years total did you have a mortgage, including all your houses?
20 years.
Yeah, probably. When did we buy the first one?
96.
Okay. Yeah.
97.
Most people just take it as a fact of life. They're always going to have to pay one. And if they get one paid off, they just upgrade houses right away. And
no.
The only reason we would potentially do that is because our business is in our house.
Yeah.
And it's kind of grown to be squeezing us a lot.
Yeah.
But because we paid it off, we really don't. Our leaning is towards not buying it rather than buying it if we're not sure.
But on 2 of those houses, we lost money. So on the house before this one, we lost $20,000. We had $150,000 in the house. We got $130,000 from it. So we lost $20,000 on the last house. And our first house in Idaho, we lost $12,000. Had to actually physically write a check for $8,000 for someone to buy our house. I wanted to throw up. But in the now that our business is doing better, the economy is doing great. So Colorado housing prices are great at the moment. We have way more than made all that up, all that loss. But here's the thing.
Just on this house alone.
We did lose money to the tune of over $30,000 on 2 houses. So just, so you know.
But this one doubled in value since we bought it, which is helpful. And the thing that's good too is because the houses are really expensive in Colorado. For us to sell this one and get a different one here isn't a big jump. It was a big jump when we came here from Kansas because at that point we had to pay double for the house here than we sold the one in Kansas for. So now that we're in this market already, it's easier for us to just move to a different house.
Well, and so we are looking for enough land so that we can build another house for Mom. And in Colorado, there's only really 2 counties in the area that we're in that are good for doing that. And so we really need to stay in Weld or Larimer County. Boulder County is just like another California. They got all these ridiculous regulations that make no sense and are just...
And part of what we don't like about that is the people in that area the voters have the idea that we should have these things and let's vote for higher taxes so the government provides that. The problem with that is when people have in their minds, they have very expensive tastes, and they vote for that to be funded by the taxes, then that means people like us who don't necessarily use those very expensive things and would choose cheaper if we could, end up having to pay equally even though we don't use it. Mm-hmm. So that's why we would choose a place where we can decide, do we want this or not?
Yeah.
So
and we are looking, just because our business is in our kitchen, and you guys have no idea. It is so annoying doing a show and having a huge disaster and then trying to do dinner afterwards.
It is kind of difficult. Somebody was asking about Longmont.
It's hard.
Longmont is really huge compared to what it used to be. And we were just noting the other day that for a lot of the time that we've been back, the economy was bad. But now that the economy is really booming, the neighborhoods are going up really crazy fast. Mm-hmm. And some areas where all of our lives there hasn't been anything, suddenly there are big subdivisions, and we're thinking, wow, that's a little bit intimidating. But for those of you who are fans, David and Ellie and I are going to go see the new Avengers movie on Friday on the day it comes out. Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Ooh, Lisa bought an old farmhouse on 40 acres for around $200,000. I bet you have heat and humidity. See, that's the only reason why I haven't gone somewhere else for cheaper, is the heat and humidity are horrible for my chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia. I do feel significantly better in a dry, cool climate.
Actually, Leisure 057 blank, we would not have to give up the oil money if we move, because in Colorado it's typical not to sell the oil rights when you sell, and we wouldn't.
Yeah.
So we would just have a different buyer if they insisted.
Yeah.
Lucy, why not just build an attached mother-in-law suite? We were thinking that it would be good to have a separate building on the site for her. Mainly, I think it would be better for her and Tara and getting along nicely together.
Well, my mother doesn't want to live with me.
Well, the thing is,
she doesn't.
I always explain it to our kids that both of them like to be kind of master of their own domain, and so it would be good to have, a little space. Like when we lived in Idaho, Jill lived across the street from us, but it was nice because she had her place and we have our place, and we can be together or we can be apart. And if somebody's not feeling it, we can just not. So
we have a full basement. Couldn't you convert that for the business? No, we have children's bedrooms downstairs. And when BJ and Ellie move out, it's not good. No, it wouldn't work.
It's hard to transfer.
It wouldn't work.
We bought the house we're in because we wanted Tara, because she's chronically ill, we wanted her not to have to run up and down the stairs a lot.
Yeah.
But if the business was down there, she would have to make a lot of trips up and down all day.
Yeah,
that's the challenge with the business being down there. The kids don't mind being down there, so.
We need a ranch. We need everything on one level. So guys, HomeMadeSoapMakingSupplies.com. I'm closing down the store next week, 40% off, $30 or more. This is the lavender mint that I don't have a picture of, the big bar, if you're wondering for that one. This one is the raspberry lilac. Didn't quite turn out like I was hoping, but still kind of interesting.
Yes, Carol's Cottage. I have enough background with real estate to know we would never sell mineral rights if we had them.
Yeah.
Or in Colorado, we wouldn't probably sell the water rights either.
Yeah, in Colorado we wouldn't sell
Sadly,
water
we
rights.
don't have water rights, but
yeah.
Colorado is just as intense about water rights as mineral rights.
Yeah, I don't know. Colorado's turning into a lunatic state. That's all I can say about that.
Add a slide, Mike. That's hilarious.
How does it feel to be debt-free? Well, we haven't actually got the paper saying 0 yet, so we haven't registered yet, I don't think. But
I looked today thinking, did they post it yet? Because it is going to be like a month before they send us all everything that's canceled, but I just wanted to see the numbers say 0.
Yeah.
So, but they should probably already have it by now.
Yeah.
They just haven't processed it.
Yeah, and this house is in a suburb, and we currently have 20 dogs in the 6 houses behind us. 20.
So
ridiculous.
So it would be nice to be in a place that's more distant, so it would be quieter.
I want some space between my neighbors.
Well, and it's funny because when we were in Kansas, we bought a house that we really liked outside of Andover, just east of Wichita. And it was out in the country, and we kind of got used to having a lot of empty space, and that was nice.
Yeah.
So So if we could, that would be a direction we would probably want to
Terry,
move.
would you want to raise animals for food? No. If we needed to, we would, but
if there was an urgent need
worth
for us
the
to
hassle.
do it, we would, yeah, but we'd probably rather not if we don't have to. Gardening, yes,
Yeah.
we would grow a lot of things just because we kind of like that.
Oh, that's pretty cool, Leslie. All right, guys, please like, subscribe, and share. Please visit us at livingonadime.com. Please visit us at homemadesoapmakingsupplies.com to buy soap and soap making supplies. I'm shutting down the store. Do not know if I will or will not return in the fall.
The soap store.
My soap store. So honestly, right now, I'm really leaning towards not selling soap in the fall. So if you want it, get it now, please.
Thanks for joining us,
I do
everyone.
reserve the right to change my mind, but I am worn out.
Well,
so.
And that's all she has to say about that.
Have a good night. Please like, subscribe, and share. We'll see you guys on Wednesday.
Good night. It's awesome having you here.
Bye.
Bye. Ugh.